Uh-huh.
I didn't think that was all. All right. Okay, first thing tonight, I'd like to get a motion for the approval of the amended agenda supplies.
So moved.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the approval of the amended agenda, say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, patron comments. We have quite a few people here in attendance tonight. I do not have anybody written down that wishes to speak about anything. So with that being said, we'll move forward. The Oracle update. I'd like to invite Ms. White forward to discuss the livestock judging team for the national competition.
Right. Good evening to you all. As we last meeting came and talked about us before going to Starvin, we're here with the update. So here next to us, we have our ag teacher, Miss White, and then we brought Kayla Myers on to help coach us. So he's brought us quite a far ways here in this short time. He helped with the connections here on this trip. So on the way out there, we stopped at 4 different farms and 2 different universities. First night and Thursday, we stopped at Hummel's to look at goats. Got up the next morning and went to Eller Brock's to look at some sheep. Traveled to Ames, Iowa, to Iowa State University, and he had a 6-class workout of 3 species, cattle, sheep, and goat, or cattle, sheep, and swine, excuse me. And so that allowed us to see quite a few stock that day. Traveled then south to see 2 cattle places, 100 head of heifers at Boyards, and then 4 classes at JS. So that was pretty incredible that day. We stayed the night there and then headed to University of Nebraska, Lincoln, where they put on a 7-class workout there the day before the contest. So we seen just around 19 classes of livestock on the way out there. So it was a great learning experience, and glad you guys supported us on the way out there.
So at the contest, Clayton placed 13th individually. I personally placed 27th. Aubrey placed 78th, and Maddie placed 124th. Overall, as a team, we were 8th, and then we were 8th high team in sheep and goat in divisions, and then we were 8th high team in cattle.
And with the 8th high team, we were the highest represented out of Indiana, out of 6. So we went out there and held our own. And when you got to look back at those, some of those other teams make power teams through their state. So they'll take their top 5 individuals out of their state contest and form a team, where we at Indiana does not do that. So we all have to stay loyal back to our schools for 4-H chapters.
Okay, so this past weekend, we attended the Boilermaker, so it's a contest that's put on by the Purdue Livestock Judging Team. Me personally, I was 12th individual, 6th in goats, 9th in sheep, 11th in reasons. As a team, we were 8th goat team, 7th sheep team, 6th team in reasons, 13th in cattle, and finished 19th overall. Or 9th overall, sorry. This contest had like a lot of out-of-state kids, and then as like an Indiana team, we were 3rd.
And then after this, we will continue on to who will be Congress in December, and we will go to the rest of the meeting or rest of the competitions in 2026.
Is there any questions?
So how was the experience?
It was very cool. Got to see, as it said, a lot of stock, a lot of high quality livestock on the way out. And then just the networking through the former Purdue Livestock Judging coach, Matt Clays, which Coach Caleb, that connection there was really something that we'll take with us the rest of our life. At least I will.
What year are each of you in school?
I'm a senior.
Me and Aubrey are sophomores. I'm a freshman.
Have you been out to a show like this before or a competition like this before?
Not of this caliber. This is the first time we qualified to go this high.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
How does it make you feel to go against some of those other states that do what you call power team? You know, when, it's not that we wouldn't consider you a power team, but like that, it seems like a tough hill to climb, doesn't it?
yeah, and some of those power teams were seniors last year, but they're allowed to compete until January 1st as a team. So some of these kids who are beating us are freshmen in college. So, and they've had junior college coaching. So, I mean, we're holding our own in that respect.
Yeah, good job.
That's really amazing.
13th overall is an individual.
I mean, I know we talked a little bit, but that's no shame by itself at all. I mean, that is actually, you're in the top. And same goes with the group of you, right? 8 overall, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, probably everybody above you were power core classes and teams, right? So, at least for me, it made me proud. I am awful glad that we were able to help you guys get to where you're at and experience that. I know that your supporters, because I've talked to some of those too, and they're very excited for you guys too, for not what you did this, but for some of you young ones coming up, right, that what you're gonna carry on and help the FFA grow.
Yeah,
Congrats.
I would like to thank Ms. White and Caleb as well for stepping in there and helping out. I'm sure they're more than thankful for that, so, but I would thank you as well. All right,
Thanks, guys.
congratulations.
Great job. It's only.
I am not that creative. I got these from Amanda Scott. You guys like them? Thank you so much. Okay.
Oh gosh, I hate to take the biggest one, but I will. Thanks.
Yeah, of course.
They are so cute.
We should get this with the administrator report.
Yeah.
All right, well, congratulations again. All right, the recognition for DCHS students and staff, Mr. Long, would you please come up?
We'll start off with staff first. So we'd like to recognize these staff members for an outstanding job so far this season. This year. So we'll just get right going here. First off, I'd like to have Mr. Nick Gaspar come on up. Mr. Gaspar has shown an exceptional commitment to his students, not only in the classroom, but also in the ways he supports them through challenges outside of school. He's eager to step in, help students who may be struggling, ensuring they know they're not alone and that their education remains a priority. His willingness to provide opportunities for students to learn, no matter the obstacles, reflects his deep care for their success. Perhaps most importantly, Mr. Gaspar approaches his work with tremendous patience, modeling the very qualities we hope to see in our students: understanding, resilience, and compassion. Congratulations, Mr. Gaspar. Ms. Jody Warinsky. Ms. Warinsky consistently demonstrates what it meant to put students first. She's flexible in her approach, meeting students where they are and adjusting to their needs so they can thrive. Her focus is always on what is best for her students, whether it's in the classroom and planning or her daily interactions. The dedication and student-centered mindset have made a meaningful difference in the lives of those she teaches. Congratulations. Mr. K. Dennis. Mr. Dennis's dedication to the band program has left a lasting impact on both our school and our community. Through his leadership, he has continued the strong traditions of our band while also creating new opportunities for students to grow. While he is deeply committed to teaching music, Mr. Dennison goes beyond the notes on the page. He teaches students life skills, discipline, teamwork, and perseverance that will serve them well long after they leave the band room. His influence reaches far beyond performances. It shapes the lives and characters of the young people he leads. Thank you, Mr. Dennison. Congratulations.
And then Miss Leslie Pickering. Miss Pickering is known for her willingness to step in and help with anything, always putting students and the school community first. One of her most impactful contributions has been the development of the Senior Capstone Program. This program not only holds students accountable, but also pushes them to reach their highest potential before stepping into the real world. Through this work, she has given our seniors both a challenge and an opportunity to grow in meaningful ways. Equally important is her dedication to building strong connections between the school and the community businesses. These partnerships have created opportunities for our students that extend their learning beyond the classroom and prepare them for future success. Congratulations. Ms. Caitlin Young. As a first-year teacher, Ms. Young has truly hit the ground running. She has not only stepped into her role with confidence and enthusiasm, but has already made a remarkable impact on her students. Through her energy and passion, she has brought out a genuine love for the culinary arts in her classroom, or her classes. Students are engaged, motivated, and excited to learn, thanks to the welcoming and inspiring environment she has created in her classroom. Congratulations.
For the students, we're going to turn it over to our Student Services Department. Ms. Dana Kirkwood and Jesse.
Before we do that, can we do a picture for all the staff that were just recognized with the board?
Oh,
Yeah, I kneel down, you kick me in the butt.
He's trying.
1, 2, 3. Smile. One more. Thank you.
Congratulations.
So today was let yourself be seen, wear bright colors, and I haven't been home yet. So bright colors. So our first student is senior Alex Hodges. We're really proud to announce that Alex is our Senior Student of the Month. Alex is ranked #1 in the senior class at Delphi Community High School. Throughout his years here, Alex has embraced our science department, almost taking every science class that we have at DCHS. He's currently a guest student at Purdue University, where he's expanding his knowledge. And in his free time, reads about chemistry, which he plans to major in next year and be a proud Boilermaker. With aspirations of becoming a professor or a researcher, Alex is sure to leave a lasting impact wherever his journey takes him. His dedication and achievements make him a remarkable representative of our school corporation. For these reasons, Alex is our Senior of the Month.
Okay, so for our junior student of the month, we have Serenity McTee. So Serenity, join me please. So she's one of my little cherubs, I say, a junior who's quiet yet powerful presence among her classmates. Though she may not always seek the spotlight, Serenity's character, kindness, and strong sense of humor make her someone that everyone enjoys to be around. Serenity is an honor student who consistently demonstrates dedication and excellence in all her activities. She is a strong advocate for herself and her peers, showing leadership through both her actions and her voice. Outside of the classroom, Serenity shines as a member of cheer and entertainers choir, and also, if you didn't know, she has a band called Out of Mind, which was even featured at Old Sellers. And I got to hear her that night. Since her freshman year, Serenity has truly come out of her shell, growing into a confident, talented, and inspiring member of DCHS.
So the reason we keep switching back and forth is we split the classes. I get the even years, she gets the odd years. So for the class of 2028, Nick Swindle. We are excited to recognize Nicholas Swindle, ranked 13th in his cohort for his outstanding work ethic, advocacy, and kindness within our school corporation. In preparation for his senior year already, so that he can take calculus, Nick is enrolled in 2 math classes demonstrating his commitment to his academic excellency. With aspirations of becoming a neurosurgeon, he is laying a strong foundation for his future. Nick is also known for his advocacy in creating a positive environment for himself and his peers. His dedication is evident not just in his academic achievements, but also through his active participation in various clubs. As he continues his journey through high school, it is clear that Nick is poised to emerge as one of our strong leaders in the class of 2028.
That is the board.
This is Nick.
And our freshman student of the month, I don't see her here, Lydia. Oh, there you are, okay. I saw your parents. All right, Lydia is a freshman who is bright, creative, and kind-hearted, and she brings positivity wherever she goes. As an a straight A honor student, Lydia loves learning and helping her classmates understand challenging materials, proving that leadership can come through patience and compassion. Lydia's interests and talents are as wide-ranging as her curiosity. She's an artist, a writer, a singer, and an active member of her church youth group. In middle school, she participated in NJHS, and then Sobel, academic, full, choir, art, and continued to explore and expand her knowledge on many topics that make her think. Known for her warm smile and thoughtful nature, Lydia believes in spreading kindness and listening to others without judgment. Whether she's tutoring a peer, sharing a laugh, or often smiling in Hawaii, Lydia makes DCHS a brighter, more welcoming place for everyone around her.
All students who just were acknowledged, if you want to come up for a picture.
Can you see passes?
Smile. One more. All right, okay, one more. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. I really love that.
Yes, I will.
All right, well, congratulations again to all the faculty and students. But at this time, we are going to continue the regular meeting, but I will give those parents and students that time to exit if you would like to before the meeting. You're welcome to stay, but this is your time to sneak out if you would like.
Usually. Okay.
All right. Okay. Now with that, before we get too far into the meeting, we do have Junior Kennedy Brown here. She's filling in for our senior class representatives tonight. So we'd like to welcome her to our panel. So welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Moving forward to number 5, getting into some business here. I'd like to get a motion for the approval of the 2026 budget. A, B, and C, which A being the resolution to adopt the 2026 to 2028 capital projects plan. B, the resolution to adopt the 2026 to 2036 bus replacement plan. And C, the resolution for appropriations and tax rates for the 2026 budget, which have all previously been discussed.
I move that we approve the 2026 budget items A, B, and C.
Second. Okay, any discussion or comments on those? Like I said, they've all been presented previously and nothing has changed. Okay, Hearing none, all in favor of number 5, approval of the 2026 budget A, B, and C as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving forward to consent items. We have quite a few here, but I'd like to get a motion for number 6 consent items, A through CC, including A, which is the minutes September 8th, 2025 meeting, the minutes of the September 2nd and September 8th, 2025 public hearing, the monthly and payroll claims as presented, approval of the monthly financial report as submitted by the treasurer. We have a couple resignations, retirements, recommendations, also several fundraisers and facility usages there. So I'd like to get a motion to approve consent items 6A through CC as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, questions, comments? All right, hearing none, all in favor of 6A through CC consent items as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, number 7, school presentation. I'd like to invite Mr. Long back up. This is for the DCHS Oracle Outlet.
So to kind of give a little background of this, there are new diploma requirements for freshman kiddos. It requires some work-based learning. Just a quick overview, because we don't have enough time this whole week to go through the new requirements, but just kind of to give you some background on this. So work-based learning will be part of the different seals that come up here, starting with our freshman class that involve work-based learning. So to do an enrollment, which would mean towards college, they have to do at least, well, not have to, but to get an honors plus seal, which is what we strive for all our kiddos to get, they have to do 75 hours of work-based learning. Students that are going into the employment field, so they call that the employment honors plus seal, are looking at 650 hours before they graduate. So we're kind of ahead of the curve because this is Miss Stephanie Miller's brainchild here. And so what this is a school-based business, would meet the above requirements for students for graduation. So this would be something looking forward that we could do within our school building to get our kiddos some work-based learning experience. So at this time, I'd like to, Miss Stephanie Miller, come on up. She is the teacher of management fundamentals as well as Lily Garrison. You here? Yeah, come on up. Eliza Hughes, Kat Stacy, and Brett Huffman.
Hello, first year teaching, so when hearing the new requirements, I was trying to find a way to be able to incorporate more of the business aspect so that way they can get some of their business work hours in through the school day. Went with Oracle Outlet where we've got some goals that they will kind of go over what some of those are that we are striving for within class. And like I said, just kind of starting off, so it's a baby that we're kind of trying to figure out which direction we're going to go. But we are definitely getting started. We've got a few weeks into it, and I'll let them kind of take over from here. What works better for you guys? You can.
Okay, hi everyone. Thank you for having us tonight. We're obviously in the management fundamentals class, and this is our Oracle Outlet. I'm Lily.
I'm Brett.
I'm Kat.
I'm Eliza.
And this is our class. In the middle there, that's our business little table there where we sell stuff. There's got stuff to sell in front and on back. Goodness.
Our outlet, we provide supplies available for students to support their school supply needs and spirit accessories during the school day. Managing business. As a class, we are learning about the principles of managing a business and what it takes to learn about owning a business and stuff like that.
We're trying to raise school spirit and get kids involved and active So we like to sell things that go with like dress up things that the school picks. And for future growth, we want to be able to raise enough money within this business to be able to recycle it back into the program for future years.
So our growth since we started is we've gotten a lot more exposure through like posters or announcements or just word of mouth. And we've been able to get more just like customers or whatever through the student and staff body.
Expansion, we want to grow in product options. We want to have multiple options on what we're going to sell. And yeah.
And teamwork, we want to maybe in the near future work with other classes like culinary to maybe like sell like a big batch of something with along with our tables.
The Oracle outlet obviously has a bunch of unique advantages, but some of the main ones is that it's project-based learning, it's student-centered, and it's hands-on. So instead of just sitting down in a class and typing on our computers all day or writing on a piece of paper, we get to like get up and actually like interact with things. We get to choose what we do. We make all the decisions. Ms. Miller just sits there and tries to guide us.
Not important, but along those lines.
It's on the record.
And then our growth, our short-term and long-term goals, really just want to get more student involvement and increase school spirit, just throughout like both the middle school and the high school. And then our long-term is we want to set a foundation for the future classes to be able to continue on our Oracle outlet score. Thank you.
Thank you. What's your number one selling item?
Well, we have some things in here.
I would say our number one is we sell glow sticks. I think it's $5 for $1.
We have school supplies. There's a bunch on our cart.
It looks like he's got
There we
the top
go.
So what's been your biggest challenge so far? You're just 2 weeks into it or so?
About 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
So what's been, as far as you guys as management team, what's been your biggest challenge so far that you see will be your biggest challenge?
I think it's like figuring out things that we think will sell. Like we don't want to have something that will flop. So it's kind of been something that we've had to learn.
Yeah, and also like getting the word out that we're doing it. Because not many people like really know what we have and what we're doing. We operate every Thursday during lunch, A and B lunch.
Well, I think word's gonna travel soon enough. So it might take a couple weeks, but people will start realizing that you're there every Thursday, so.
Cool.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for that presentation. That's nice. I look forward to hearing what the new top selling item is at the end of the semester. I think it'll be something different. So, all right, Mr. Dale with the athletics report.
One of the big ones from the last month, I put in the report was we saved about $1,000 on scoreboard controllers. Nevco wanted to charge us an inordinate amount of money to change basically a watch battery. So did my research, figured out what that was, and we had all the parts shipped to us, and then I just did it in-house. That saved us a ton because we had to do all the controllers at the same time because they were all purchased at the same time. So that was a big one. There's some IHSA updates that I have relayed with our counseling department. We're looking at some possible changes. They've loosened some of the rules for seniors as they're outgoing. Obviously, if they're ready to graduate, starting their second semester, they have loosened it up so they don't have to be a full-time student to be able to participate. You can have a reduced schedule, which I think for most of us, hey, if you've done all the things you're supposed to do and you want to go work for a bit and then come back to practice, then I don't think that's probably a problem, but we're going to go through that process of looking at those and seeing if that's something we wanted to go down that road. I did put in here to recognize one of them's here tonight. Kennedy's here tonight. But her and Abby Brown and Kiera, who have both been in here a bunch, and then Keegan and Elliott, the four of them have kind of been like a marketing team for me. They come in once or twice a week in my office during homeroom. We sit there and talk about different ideas. And I think a big reason why our student section has increased is because the four of them are coming up with these different things that the kids seem to be grabbing onto. So I want to make sure and recognize what they've been doing over the last couple months. And then we have kind of an exciting, and we've been working on, I've been trying to get this since I came back. Coach Pulver has put together a parent board that then can kind of operate as a youth basketball board to be able to go and create something that these younger kids have at least a chance to come and play some basketball and just get exposed to. So right now, the plans that I've seen, they're planning on doing like 4 camp dates right around Thanksgiving. So kind of before and after Thanksgiving, 2 weeks and 2 weeks. And then when we come back from Christmas break, they'll have four dates where they'll play games either against some of the other schools or intramurally. But they're still working on that because obviously that takes some time to get the other schools in line. But I think it's a big step forward for just giving the elementary kids a place to go play. It's something we can support. So there, and then Dr. Moore and I have been working a lot on some of these potential facilities updates. We just spent a long day together looking at some different options for different projects. And I know we have at least one on the agenda tonight that we'll talk about. So I won't take up much more time. I'll be back. Thanks.
All right, looking for the technology report, Mr. Vogt.
I'm going to use a little bit of a security blanket here with the presentation. I'll walk through some of this stuff with you. First, I want to thank my team, Drew and Colby. They work hard, they're flexible, they're innovative, and they embody the spirit of lifelong learning. For example, I can't list everything that they do, but Colby recently rewrote the code for our tech and maintenance tickets to provide an email to the submitter that the ticket's been resolved. So that's kind of a nice little feature that's in there now. Drew does a great job with device repair, and he had a great idea today for kind of a flash sale of chargers to students who don't have them, because we kind of have extras right now just because we do. We've collected them over the years. Toshiba printers, we replaced them all in June. So there was some training and education needed when we started the new school year for staff members, but I think that we've got our workflows figured out and things are going pretty smooth with that. Same with the teacher laptops. When we went down from desktop and Chromebook just to one laptop with a docking station, there was some training required there too, and some small hiccups, but we kind of got through it, and I think we're doing pretty good now. October is Cybersecurity Month. Probably didn't know that, but we have new CrowdStrike endpoint monitoring on all of our Windows machine corp-wide. We just got that done in the last 3 weeks, finished up with that. Admin training through KnowBe4. This is another software that the state provides. It's just some general cybersecurity training. We've assigned that to the admin team and corp office staff. We are doing some monitoring of all of our staff right now, and we'll be doing some other training based on kind of the results of that monitoring. Okay, AI in education. I'm part of a Wabash Valley Ed Center Tech Leaders Group. We are doing an AI in education book study. We're collaboratively putting together a resource for educators that's going to help them embed ethical and safe use of AI into the curriculum. So that's kind of a project that we're going to be working on throughout this year. And then hopefully we'll be able to share it with our respective staffs later on, probably next fall. I'm attending a conference on 10/31, specifically about best practice in AI policy and planning for districts. Dr. Moore and I have worked together to identify Title IV grant funding that can be used to purchase some enterprise level AI software with training. There is a small group of teachers and I right now vetting 3 potential software choices: Magic School, Conmigo, and School AI. All of them include safeguards and guide rails for the appropriate use of AI in education. So there will definitely be some learning curve involved with that. But we're looking to have this available to teachers by the end of the month, and hopefully some training for different buildings in November or early December, depending on when you guys get on the schedule. Skyward Cumulative. Skyward has not announced yet the end of life date for, they do it on state by state basis. They haven't said what it's going to be for Indiana yet, but it's coming up soon. About half of Indiana schools have already switched to cumulative. SMS is the old version. If we commit to a 2028 date now, that gives us some flexibility in order to pick which date we want, which just based on all of the things that happen in the summer, the week of July 4th is really ideal, so that we can get it done. We can go live before the beginning of school starts, but after all the state reporting stuff is done. E-rate 2026. E-rate is federal money that can be used on certain networking type things, essentially. My projects that I have planned for this year are UPS updates, which are just the big battery backups, not super exciting, but they go bad every now and then, so you have to replace them. And then the big one is Cat 6 cabling project. Ideally, what I'd like to have are 5 new Cat 6 cables run to every room, from a network closet to every room, because one of them is used for the phone, for IP phones. One is used for the access point. One is used for potentially for a new speaker. And then we would have 2 extras that we wouldn't have to attach to a patch panel, but they would just be there in the ceiling in case we need them for damage to a line, or if we're future proofing against other IP devices in the future, other types of things that we're going to want to put in classrooms. So the cost of running each new line is essentially just the cost of the cable itself. You don't have to pay for extra. So I figure we might as well just put some extra in there. That's kind of my big project. With that being said, then if we were to look at a PA system refresh, we would have the cables in each room in order to put IP speakers in there. So a lot of our, the PA system right now has original analog cabling from when the buildings were built. There's also the company that we use to service the software. They have a monopoly on that service in Indiana, so we end up paying whatever they charge us, which is not ideal. So we want to use the new cabling to upgrade to IP speakers. I'm still investigating different softwares, but we want one that has no annual license, a better user interface for an easier user experience, and the ability to integrate with other systems like door access and alert systems and cameras. We don't have to do all that at once. A lot of these softwares, it's modular where you can do a little bit at a time, but it would be nice if they had that capability so that we had all those things on one user interface and it was all really nice and easy to use. PA patchwork. With that being said, that's more of a medium to short-term project. You know, maybe we could get something started by next summer, but we're worried about some of these areas in the building that don't have any PA access at all right now. So science hallway, locker rooms, auxiliary gym, we want to get that stuff patched like now. Gym audio refresh. You guys might have more questions about this later on too, but last spring, in order to get the sound system to work for graduation, we had to call Brand in to kind of do an emergency temporary fix. Some of that equipment is also original, and it's been patched together over the years with a couple different projects. Chip said it's not really loud enough for some events. So I sought out bids from 5 different companies, and Scott Twyble from Avila, he did the DCES gym sound last fall, and we've been happy with those results. He was also the lowest bid, so to me, it kind of seemed like a no-brainer. And we're happy with the work he did. The speakers come with a 5-year warranty. So if you've got more questions about that specifically later on, I'm happy to answer them. Camera project. The old cameras, mostly Sony's, are not in spec with what our software wants them to be. And so it's putting unnecessary demand on the server that runs the software. So what Spot has recommended is that we replace all of the old cameras with Spot cameras, which they send us the cameras for free. I have them. They're sitting in my office. We just need some help getting them installed. Currently, because that server is getting overwhelmed, every now and then it shuts itself down. We have an alert set up so we know that when it happens right away, we can go and we can reset it. But any downtime before we physically reset it, we don't have any data on those cameras. So, that's a problem. So this would help us fix that. This would be across all buildings, including Camden, and it would help increase security and visibility. The state made changes to the database that we use for special ed. It's now PowerSchool, and so that's come with some problems, but we've been working with Susan Evans of the consortium to get all data exports working the way that they need to. We also recently looked at our workflow for how do we get the data from PowerSchool back into Skyward so that we can use it in-house. So I've trained our high school and middle school TORs on the proper way to do that data entry. I still need to schedule time to do that with the elementary teachers. State reporting, Colby did a lot of hard work on state reporting for this cycle, but the October cycle is completed and it was just submitted last Friday. The numbers are generally pretty positive. It looks like we're not losing students at the rate that we were the last 2 years. So, and in fact, we were exactly flat with where we were from February. I added some storage to the Skyward server because it's been acting kind of funky lately and it's improved its stability. Apple School Manager, we don't have a whole lot of Apple products around here, but there are still some old iPads and some people have Macs. And the way that it used to be was they would put personal Apple accounts on those devices. So if they left the corporation, it was tied to their phone number and we had to factory reset it in order to recover that device. So we're working on setting up Apple School Manager and getting it to integrate with the Google Admin Console that we already use to make it just easier to manage those devices. And that's all I've got. Sorry, I know it's a lot. All right, okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, busy times in technology. Let's move forward to Dr. Moore with her superintendent's report.
Well, first I want to start by just acknowledging we've made it through the first 9 weeks. I can't believe it. 9 weeks have already passed. And I just want to thank our team. And by team, I mean our teachers. I want to thank our administrators and our directors. And of course, the corporate office staff who support me day in, day out. And also the board, thank you, our families, and our students. So as you can see, just with the information, we haven't even gone over everything tonight. There's a lot going on here at Delphi, and I feel a lot of positive things. I feel like we're moving forward in a great direction, but I know I can't do this alone. And so I just want to thank everyone, and I appreciate you for all the hard work during these first 9 weeks. Excited for the rest of our school year. So thank you. And then I'm going to move into just talking about a few things. Assessment and data. We did have PSATs at the high school. I-Learn checkpoints are going well. That's a bit new for the state this year. Typically, we probably remember spring assessments, but now the state has moved to ongoing assessments where we get that feedback immediately and can respond to our students. Also, we are doing a great job at all levels, I would say, with data analysis, making sure we're looking at strengths and areas for improvement for all of our students and using that information to guide instruction. Safety and security, we are looking at refining the bullying report system and also looking into some new products such as Say Something Anonymous reporting. So Mrs. Kirkwood and I are attending a meeting tomorrow, I believe, on that reporting system that will be sharing information with families. Also collaborating with Josh Long at the high school with he's our school safety specialist, and looking to upgrade our panic button and looking to have something more user-friendly and potentially an app that could be on our phone and would be available to all staff at any time to report any type of emergency. So we're looking into options for that. Continuing with it's been great to meet with teachers across all levels. I've been in the buildings recently to discuss the changes for the teacher appreciation grant and appreciate that feedback from our staff, which has also led to pursuing a formal mentoring program. That's something I'm working on right now, and we'll be gathering input from administration, but want to make sure that we're supporting teachers with that teacher appreciation grant. Also, strategic planning. The survey was sent out, had great participation, not only from adults, but students as well. And moving into the next phase of strategic planning, scheduling focus groups, having community listening sessions. I invite everyone to attend them. Also continuing to meet with our students, with the Superintendent Student Advisory Council. And our first meeting was fantastic. We have another meeting here at the end of the month. Facilities and capital projects. We're going to work on a master facility plan and also continue the development of some bond projects with, again, looking at, safety, security, and just overall improving our facilities. And excited about this week, we have e-learning and we have conferences. So excited to welcome our families into our school buildings. We're excited to meet with you and talk about the great things happening with your kids. And then, of course, you have a nice break, fall break, the following week. And then we do have a wonderful event planned. Just want to make sure everyone's aware of that for Veterans Day, our program on November 11th, where the community is invited. So we're excited to welcome the community into our school building as well, and that will be held at the high school. And then, as Joe already acknowledged, our enrollment is fantastic. I'm very proud that, people want to be here, and I think they see the great things happening here at Delphi. So very proud superintendent. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, several reports there. Moving forward to new business now. We've got quite a bit of new business here. So let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to get a motion to discuss 9A, B, and C. 9A being the resolution to open a bank account and appoint authorized signers. Also 9B, additional appropriation resolution. This is for debt service. And then 9C, the resolution to designate digital payment depository. So I'd like to get a motion to discuss 9A through C.
So moved.
Second.
All right, Dr. Moore.
So the first item discusses authorizing several individuals for the bank account that would be holding the funds for the 2025 bond. That would be myself, the treasurer, and the administrative assistant. And then looking at B, this is in regard to the 2024 bond. And so this would be additional appropriations for a 2-year repayment. And then C, this is related to a PayPal account that would be utilized to deposit funds in. And that is A, B, and C.
Any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of 9A, B, and C under new business as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, now I'd like to get a motion to discuss 9D, which is to appoint a technical review committee. This is for the 2025-2026 design build project preliminary timeline, as well as 9E, which would be design criteria consultant agreement. I'd like to get a motion for 9D and E.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Moore.
So this is a process that many school districts use in order to work through the design build process. This is a 2-step process for a school corporation to secure the services of a design builder. Step 1 would be request for qualifications with legal advertisements. And then step 2 would be request for proposals. And my recommendation is that we are utilizing the Rollins Group.
Any questions or comments?
You've worked with them before?
I have, yes, at a previous school district, yes.
Okay.
I find them to be very responsive. They do a great job and follow all the legal requirements that are needed to work through this process.
Okay. All in favor of 9D and E as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, 9F, I'd like to get a motion to discuss the sale of 2 international buses, bus number 4 and bus number 14 on the public surplus.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Moore?
Well, as part of our bus replacement plan, as we are purchasing new buses, we want to make sure that we are, moving the inventory that now is old and being replaced. And so that is what and also Mrs. Tigers is asking for, is to make sure that we are advertising these buses to be sold.
Any questions?
Do we know the years and miles on those buses?
I do
The
not.
state requires you to get rid of them at a certain age, or you have to pay, or you have to inspect them a lot more. More 12 years.
12 years.
Twice a year.
So with our bus replacement plan that we have advertised, these are the buses that are slated to be removed next. So I can't tell you the specific mileage, but we are following the recommendation from the state.
Do we take the cameras off the old buses and use them again?
Not typically, because they're outdated and we want to put in new equipment. And with the new buses that we purchase, they come installed with new cameras. So we want to utilize that updated technology.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. All in favor of new business F, the sale of the 2 international buses, bus number 4 and bus number 14 on the public surplus, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, new business 9G. I'd like to get a motion to discuss Ability Allies, a spend of $17,940. Also 9H for Kidder Media, which is a fall newsletter for $13,575. I'd like to get a motion for 9G and H as presented.
So moved. Second.
Dr. Moore.
So item G, Ability Allies. These are for services related to a matter related to special education that is confidential in nature. And with H, Kidder Media, this is the fall newsletter that was distributed to our local community and beyond, sharing the great things happening here at Delphi.
Any questions or comments?
Just for the record, Kinder Media, that includes postage, everything for that amount.
That is absolutely correct. So
Okay.
production and for postage.
Or over 12,000 or so, 12 plus. Is that
I'm
right?
thinking of all the postal codes. Like, I think that could be close. Yes, I don't have the exact number on that, but we included not only our local community, but beyond as well.
12,000 plus for it. Yeah.
Approximately, yes. Yep.
When will we have another newsletter go out besides the fall newsletter?
So my goal would be winter and spring, 3 times a year. The winter edition, I don't know that we will expand as far as we did here at the fall. Probably more focus on our local community, but the spring then we would want to expand, and that would be a great time that sometimes families are looking for a different choice.
Anyone else? All right. All in favor of number 9, new business, letters G and H as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, number 9, new business. We've got a couple tech things here I'd like to group together. I would like to get a motion to discuss letter I for Skyward SMS to cumulative migration. Also 9J, the gym refresh for PA system. 9K for PA patchwork. And 9L for camera installation of 87 cameras.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Moore.
And I'm going to turn it over to Joe.
So I've kind of discussed some of this already. Skyward, they have not released the Indiana end of life date, but it's coming soon. So we've got to migrate, and the migration services are the $8,502. And the annual computing services, that is for Skyward to host the data in the cloud. And they've told us that when we migrate to cumulative, we have to switch to that system rather than having it housed here.
And Joe, it would be fair to say that we've been talking about this because we need to get on their calendar to secure the dates for this migration.
Yeah, it's already too late to do 2026. If we want to do 2027, we're probably at their mercy for whatever dates that they have available. So 2028 gives us time not only to move our data, but then also to choose the date that we want to go live.
How far back does the data migration go? I mean, do we take
Like how
everything
far
out of
back
Skyward or?
do we keep the data for how many years back?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know yet.
Okay.
I'm guessing they'll tell me once we start the actual, like, there's a whole team that walks you through all the steps in the migration, which is why it costs $8,000 because it's kind of a lot of work.
So the computing services, $3,000 for a 3-year contract, is that 3,000 total or 3,000 per year?
Each year.
3,000 each year,
Yes.
just for clarification.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Joe, in comparison to what we currently pay, what is that like?
Well, we don't, are you talking about the 3,000 per year?
Right.
Well, we don't pay for that, but we pay for other costs like having the actual server here and managing it here, which, you know, it takes time because we got to do all the updates ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
Next one. Gym refresh, the PA system, like I talked about, it's a lot of the cabling and speakers are original to the gym. And there've been multiple projects. There's 3 different generations of speakers in that gym right now.
Yes.
And everything has just been added on and like patched together over time. So this project would tear everything out and put all new stuff in. And we have worked with Scott Twyble from Avila before. Like I said, he did the elementary gym, and he did a good job. I talked with Jay, who knows more about speakers than I do, and he's been happy with the system there at the elementary school. So it was also the lowest bid, so I thought that one to me seemed like a no-brainer.
Will these be today's wireless speakers so they can be placed to provide more clarity instead of that old?
They're gonna be wired, there's gonna be an auxiliary cord, so you can plug in, but you can also do Bluetooth, so it's got both options.
Did you already share with us the cost?
What's that?
This one also have a virtual assistant.
Any other questions on that project? Okay, the PA patchwork, like I said, there's some areas of the building, science wing, locker rooms, and the auxiliary gym that don't get any PA announcements at all right now. So for a security reason, that's a problem. So we want to get that done. And Scott Twyble from Avila also came in with the lowest bid on that as well. So he's somebody that we trust, and so that was my recommendation for that one as well.
Yeah. Did you get the price?
Mhm,
Yeah.
The camera installation project, Integrity is who we're recommending for that. They came in with the lowest bid, and it's somebody that we work with right now. They help us with networking stuff. I've got a pretty good relationship with Bill Taylor and Rich Parker. So I know that they're gonna come in, they're gonna do a good job with that. They're also the ones that help us manage the camera software, like on the back end, the configuration. So if it's not done right, they're the ones that are gonna have to deal with the problems that it brings. So I know that they're gonna do it right.
All right, any other questions on I, J, K, or L?
Mr. President, just for the record, would you state off the cost of each one? Just for the public.
Let's see, so the Skyward, the migration is $8,502. That's for the installation, and it's $3,000 per year with a 3-year contract. Let me pull each one of these up here. The gym PA system.
It's $20,130 for the equipment and $7,000 for the install. Does not include the lift that we would have to rent, which would be about $1,000.
So it's not the 75,000 that's on here?
No, those are all the bids.
There's all the different quotes.
Just total cost of scope of work.
He included all of the bids.
So all of the bids are.
You have the line items from each
The
entity.
Quinlan,
When you have total cost of scope of work, you think of what we're going with the project,
Yeah.
not everything added together.
Joe, can you be clear which company we're moving forward with or you're recommending that we move forward with, please?
Quinlan Babish provides the equipment and Avla provides the install.
Okay.
so $28,130.47 is the total for that PA
Yes.
refresh.
Okay.
But Kirk, you definitely pointed out how high some of these quotes are.
Right. That's all just for the public to understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brand came in around 75,000.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Thank
several, that was the one thing I noticed about a lot of the quotes is none of them were real close to each other, which was kind of odd, but,
It's kind of why the state likes us to have 3 bids when it's above a certain amount.
the, camera install, you're going with Integrity Network Solutions, which sounds like they're the ones monitoring a lot of the things we have with that anyways, is that correct? $8,917.50 to install those 87 cameras. And then that was it. Anything else?
The PA patchwork, I'm sorry.
Oh, did I skip that?
Avla, I believe it was around 4,000, but I don't remember the exact.
$299. Quinlan and Fabish with Avla. Yes.
Good job compiling all the quotes.
Yeah, thanks for the work. Okay, under new business, all in favor of 9I, J, K, and L as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Moving forward, I'd like to get a motion. We've got a couple of maintenance things here. I'd like to get a motion to discuss 9M from Benchmark, the DCHS Ag Wing roof drain repair for $7,259.44. 9N Benchmark, that's DCHS boiler number 1 and number 2 repairs, $29,410. And then 9O, which is for Lee Company, DCSC indoor outdoor bleachers repair for $17,980.
So move.
Second.
Okay, do you want P in there with that agreement?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, and I'd like to also get a motion for P, which is for elevated, that's the DCHS standard maintenance agreement and standard repair agreement as presented.
So move on the amended.
Second.
Okay, Dr. Moore.
I'm gonna turn over to Chris.
So the roof drains, the drains were leaking in the classrooms and it wasn't good. We'd have to have trash cans in there. The threads were corroded on the piping when they connect to the drain to the ceiling, so they had to redo that all the way back because they switched to PVC. And if you look at the invoice, it's already done, but there's a lot of hours, 63 hours. So it took a lot of time.
Maybe it'll rain and we'll get to test them.
We've already tested.
Okay. Did you have info on the boilers?
It's the exact same thing we did with boilers 3 and 4. They're already back together, up and running. These 2 are tore apart right now. So we just need that approved so we can get them back together and get our 10-year life expectancy out of them.
And what was the situation with the bleachers?
So the bleachers, most of them are just piddly things, tightening up some bolts and stuff from crossbars. Some skirt boards need replaced, some grease. The worst ones are the football. It needs 4 new end caps, 1 new walk plank, and a couple wheels. But the really bad one is the main gym at the high school. So I believe they said there's parts are not available for those bleachers anymore. So they need to tear apart a section to get parts from it and then rebuild that section.
And this was based on an inspection report.
Yes, and we're currently not in compliance with the way they are right now.
Do you have a timeline for when they will fix them do they have to be fixed prior to this season, I guess?
No, this has to be done every year. During the year, like this year with the inspection. I asked them a month ago if they could do, or how far out they would be, and they said like a month out, so.
We have to be working on resolving the issue.
Right. Do they have a timeline on how long it takes? I'm only asking because obviously we're coming into the season of utilizing the gym.
I thought they said they could have everything done in a week.
Okay.
I think a lot of times they get out, they're the ones that get out sick, they can't move. We've had that happen with them bleachers because they walk back. And if they get out sick, they won't do. I know that one year there was part we couldn't use for a while till they got repairs. So that's probably what that is, I would assume.
Okay.
You think things last longer than 12 years. I think we did that when I first came on board.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Thank you.
And then, Chris, can you fill us in on the elevated agreements?
So that's for the inspections on our lifts at the elementary school and high school and maintenance agreement so that they can fix anything that's wrong with them. I just brought them in last year because our lifts hadn't been inspected since 22. Luckily, I got them in. I literally got the inspection done 2 weeks before the state inspector came in, and I had the report, so.
So is this just a 1-year agreement? Is this multi-year?
It's just an agreement for them to come once a year to do the inspections.
But that costs yearly?
Yes.
So it's a multi-year?
Yes.
Even though there's supposed to be an end date on multi-year though, in maximum of so many years.
So I know they're coming, it's semi-annual as well.
Yeah.
Let's
I
see
thought that
here.
they did a thing where what couldn't be more than so many years. It can't be everlasting, is what I'm saying. And I was just trying to see if there was an end date on it, and I didn't see it, but that don't mean anything. My wife will tell you that.
Yeah, we do have to provide them with notice if we want to get out of this agreement.
Yeah.
As long as
okay,
both parties
it's-
want to engage in it is what
Yeah,
the,
110 a month, and we designate. Okay, that might be what we really need to make sure we do.
Okay, so it sounds like on that one, we just have to make sure that we notify if we're wanting to get out of that. Any other questions for Chris? All right, thanks, Chris. All right. Now, hearing all the information from 9M, N, O, and P, all in favor of new business M, N, O, and P as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, next here for discussion is I'd like to get a motion to discuss 9Q. This is the locker room renovation, as well as 9R, the Delphi hitting facility.
So moved.
Second.
Chip.
I'll start off obviously within the order we're in. So the locker renovation, we've been working on this for a little bit. I kind of reached out to my professional network. I got, ended up with 5 recommendations for people to work with for different reasons. One of them elected to not bid at all, didn't even come on site. They're more of a custom fit. So the smaller scale we were doing really wasn't in their business model. Another one does specifically football lockers that are more open air. So for more of a multi-use room, they actually came on site and looked at it and decided it was really, like, that you're not going to be as happy with ours as you would others. So they elected to not bid. The 3 bids we did get, one is a factory direct price, no installation, no demo. So there's a lot of work and a lot of expertise that then we either got to subcontract out or do ourselves. They were the lowest price, but again, there's a lot of issues that are going to come up with coming with just a factory direct locker. The two we have that I feel like fit everything we need were from Lee Company in Bradford. The Bradford guy actually used to work for Lee Company doing the exact same thing. So they're identical bids pretty much. We're getting more locker space in the varsity boys area that really needs replaced badly. It's adding a lot of supervision aspects because we're going to be able to drop the sight length down so you can actually see to the back of the locker room from the front. We're increasing capacity, so we'll go from 218 on the boy, or 134 on the boys' side to 218, and then the girls' side is a wash, it's 116 to 110. So we're keeping our capacity on the girls' side, increasing on the boys' side, and that's mainly because of the different styling. We're going from a really tall football style locker that you can't see to the back of the locker room in, and we're dropping those down to double stacked so that you can see past them. So that's where the capacity increased. Pricing wise, again, Bradford came in at 112,410. They do have some features as well that Lee didn't include. So it does, I think it's going to help with some of the aerating football pads and things like that at this time of year are a problem. And so they ended up being about $43,000 cheaper than the Lee bid. His lead time right now is, he said, about 9 to 12 weeks. So we'd be looking at a Christmas break or a little after install demo time. So that's my recommendation for that one. Then the second item, the hitting facility, this is a topic that has came up, I feel like every year since I've been here. So we've had regularly travel teams, club teams, rec teams asking to come in and use our facilities. And obviously we have policies that say, yeah, we love people from our community using our facilities. We want to be able to support our rec teams. We want to be able to support the youth stuff that we try to do. But then we have this other piece that now is growing, which is the travel industry, where a lot of these teams are looking for space. They're wanting to pay for it. And we've always kind of turned them away because they're not our kids. If they weren't all of our kids, then we wouldn't take them. And they keep saying, oh, we'll pay. And so the baseball program and the softball program, we started talking about it. And they're like, there's a good chunk of money here that really can help us maintain these spaces. It's a piece of revenue that we haven't explored before. Maybe it's worth talking about. And so we've went through and Coach Long did a bunch of research for me. We went through and we've worked through several pieces of this. We've talked with Dr. Moore several times. We went through all the Neola policies that apply to this. We've talked to the attorney, and we've kind of Frankenstein some things that we like from some of the agencies or some of the other organizations around us that are already doing this. And I think it's a chance to kind of pilot something that, one, we're going to get kids in our facilities that are not our kids. They're going to be here with their friends of kids that are our kids. They're going to see, hey, they got some pretty cool stuff there. So it is a recruiting tool. And then two, it is a great way for us to get some of that revenue where when a pitching machine goes out, we have money set aside that these teams that have been putting it in have got to set up. So that's the kind of the policy. Some of the things that we have on there. Our current plan is to set a sub-account within the athletics account that these rental fees would go into. So they'd be set aside for when we need to change out a batting cage or things like that. If we get to a decent chunk of money, then we can go do a big project at one of the baseball or softball facilities that go straight to those two programs. We got to have somebody on site that's one of ours. So one of our board group coaches or one of our staff members would have to be here with somebody who's not us. Obviously, if it's one of our coaches that's doing it with their travel team, that's different, they'd be fine, but if it's somebody else, we would need them. And then I know there was a question about keypad situations. We put a thing on here about, this was us working through the problem. How do we, so say a coach wants to come in 10 minutes early, they're the first one that's scheduled to be there on a Sunday and just get set up. How do we get them in the building if our person is not here yet so that they can just get set up? And our thought was to do something like an open house lock, like a realtor would use, that we can change the code ourselves. When no one's renting it, we just take it. There's nothing out there, but for those times where we have, hey, I want to come in at, I'm practicing on the first one at 9. I want to come in at 8:45 and set up. Okay, we can set that out there and then our person's here at 9. So that's kind of the rundown of that.
One thing I like, and I've been actually kind of harping on this anyway, there's no cameras out there. And we need to get camera security out there now. If we're gonna have other people even coming in, there really should, in today's world, there should be cameras, and there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to get them out there. Which would go into the point of either your swipe cards that you, right? The same thing, right? That's what we're talking about. And so I think that's one thing we really need to make sure that we have not only outside but inside cameras in that facility. We do on everything else, and that we really should have there. But I applaud you for looking at how to generate revenue.
We can consult with tech on that.
You can do it.
Okay.
Like us cameras around can do, maybe take some of the old ones, they don't have to be maybe quite as good as well.
Well, the issue is getting internet access to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now the internet out there has been.
Well, everything's resolvable.
Right.
When it comes to
There are
technology.
options you can explore.
Take off the church lot. They got one, that one building, right next to it. It would work out great.
Okay, any other questions for the locker room renovation or the hitting facility usage?
Just one question. Does that renovation include showers at all, or is that just lockers?
No, that is, so that'll take out, that'll demo all of the girls' PE, all those blue ones, the really old ones.
Yeah.
Those will all be demoed and gone. The original islands that are there will then be repurposed. They'll be, I forget how tall they are. I can look at the quote. I want to say they're 5 foot tall. 4 foot. So they'll be 4 foot on those islands, so it'll end up being about 5 foot tall. They're double stacked, so you'll have a 2 foot tall locker, double stacked on those. And then when you walk in, the right side, the side that the bathroom's on, that row of lockers will be demoed out and then replaced with double stacked 2 foot tallers. And then on the boys' side, when you walk in, the hallway that goes back to the showers, those will all be ripped out and replaced with double stacks. And then all of the old football lockers will go from 90, I think it's 4 to 72, 6 or 5 foot tallers that are wider, and then we'll have 3 to 3 feet or 6 feet of the double stack where you can see the back on each peninsula.
Does that mean on the football side that the equipment will no longer fit in those lockers?
No, they would. In
It still
fact,
will.
yeah, and what it'll do, so it'll change it's the new style, is you have, each one of those will have a foot locker that's basically 2 by 2 by 2. That locks, and then above you'll have an open space that you can put whatever you want, and you'll have another space that's lockable. And then the top will have a pad rack, so those will not be scattered all over the place. You'll actually have a place to put them.
Good.
So all of our equipment will have a place that it can be placed. Yeah, and then they'll have 2 spaces to lock their own stuff.
I think it said in there you're redoing stalls as well. Is that
Yes, that's
included in
part
that
of
quote?
the
No,
quote
there's just
was,
a couple
the
back.
boys' bathroom stalls they're well past needing redone. So those, and then all the benches in both locker rooms would be replaced.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'd have new wood benches and all those.
It's exciting.
Are those varsity lockers original?
I don't think so. I think that's probably the second version. I would, knowing where they were, I think they were manufactured in like the 80s or 90s.
Okay.
I would bet it was around 2. They were there when I played, I know that.
That was a long time ago.
You're telling on yourself.
Way back.
Yeah. Anything else for Chip? All right, thanks. All right, all in favor of, lost my place here, new business Q and R as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, new business 9S. I'd like to get a motion to discuss the MOU between the DCHS and Ivy Tech for high school-based dual credit for the 2025-2026 school year.
Second.
Dr. Moore.
This is our annual agreement with them to provide, opportunities for our students to earn dual credit for various courses. We have a great relationship with them, so.
Any questions, comments? Same. Okay. All in favor of 9S, the MOU between DCHS and Ivy Tech for high school-based dual credit classes for the 2025-2026 school year, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, got a couple here. 9T, I'd like to get a motion to discuss the DCMS instruction of human sexuality. 9U, the Smeekins Education Solutions for $11,934. And 9V, the Indiana testing, this is Drug and Alcohol Student Testing Services Agreement.
So
Second.
Dr. Moore.
So the first item, T, the instruction on human sexuality, is in response to legislation that was passed. And all schools were asked through Senate Enrolled Act 442 to update some requirements on instruction of human sexuality and sexually transmitted infections. And so we're following the requirements that the state has put in place and updated our instruction, which is now being asked to be approved by all school boards at every school district and also posted on our district websites. So I'm asking for your approval and for us to post this instruction. Any questions on that? Okay. For the Smeekins Education Solutions, this would be professional development on writing instruction for our elementary staff, and this would be paid through a grant. This is something I've worked with Mr. Hawk on to address needs that he's identified at the elementary level. Any questions on that? Okay. Next is an agreement for drug and alcohol student testing. We already have a policy in place for student drug testing. We also have families that consent to this as part of the registration process. And as part of our current policy in place, it outlines the specifics of which students and the frequency. The plan would be is to utilize this company. They assist with the randomness and also I should share that our role as school employees would be to be there to supervise during the testing, not to administer the testing. So this is an agreement to work with an outside company. I know that other school districts have used this company and have found it to be a good partnership. And this would be for students specifically who are engaging with extracurricular, co-curricular, athletics. Those would be the students who would be subject to the testing.
Will driving students also be in there, even though they may not be in ECA stuff?
That is part of our policy.
Right.
That's a good question. And so my goal would be, I know that this would be something that our families would want to be aware of. So I would put out some communication to our school community to ensure that they're aware that this would begin. My plan would be second semester.
Okay.
And this is something Mr. Long and I have spoken about, and we have looked into together, to ensure that, we feel that this is going to be consistent, and fair for our students.
So it's the ITI to come on site fee schedule.
That is correct.
They're going to administer it and do all that.
That's
Right.
correct.
Okay. And it's just high school?
So, according to our policy, we have students in grades 6 through 12.
We don't really know exactly what the cost will be because of the randomness, right? Do we have a total cost budgeted for this, to be able to do this on an annual basis?
We do have funds that are available. It's hard to predict. This is something that hasn't been really fully implemented,
right,
for quite some time. So I think that's something that we'll have to monitor closely, and I'm happy to provide reports to you as well once we get this rolling in the second semester.
Thank you.
Well, that's a good question. So do they recommend so many students per month, per quarter? Random?
So our policy states on and off throughout the school year. So there isn't a set time, but however, the company does, advise once we enter into that agreement, then we will sit down and finalize those details of the frequency.
Stephanie, when we used to have it, one come on off-site years ago, and I've been back in Carol's timeframe, that it was about a third or 25, I forget how that was, maybe it's quarters, 25% they thought that they would throw into that of our student population. They figured there'd be about 10% of our students that would never do that because they don't drive, they don't participate in ECTA or ECA stuff, so.
Yeah.
But that was a high. And that did not include junior high at that time either.
And this does mirror even what our neighboring school district, Carroll, does. So this is nothing that's unique to Delphi.
I'm glad to see it come back. It's not to catch.
I agree.
It's a deterrent.
Well, I think the other benefit is they do the random search, we do not. So it takes away the finger pointing of someone being pinpointed because they don't know who these kids are.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor of 9T DCMS instruction on human sexuality, 9U Smeckens Education Solutions for $11,934, and 9V the Indiana Testing for Drug and Alcohol Student Testing Services Agreement, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, 9W, I would like to get a motion to discuss the performance evaluation system for director personnel.
Second.
Dr. Moore?
We feel very strongly that every employee should receive an evaluation for each school year. And so what you will see here is evaluations that are for our directors who do not have specific evaluations related to their area. So that's what I'm asking you to approve.
Any questions or comments? Okay, all in favor of 9W, the performance evaluation system for director personnel, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. 9X, I'd like to get a motion to discuss or to amend all Neola anti-harassment policies, naming Dr. Moore superintendent as compliance officer and Title IX coordinator.
So move.
Second.
Dr. Moore?
Our current policies, some do state individuals who are no longer employed here, and through the recommendation of our legal counsel, this is their recommendation.
Any questions?
Is that your recommendation?
Happy to do it.
Thank you.
All right, all in favor of number 9, new business, letter X, to amend all the old anti-harassment policies, naming Dr. Pamela Moore, superintendent, as compliance officer and Title IX coordinator. Say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, we're gonna try to round out almost round out new business. I'd like to get a motion to discuss 9Y, the high ability handbook, 9Z, the strategic and continuous improvement plans for the DCES, DCMS, and DCHS, as well as 9AA, the classified handbook for October 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Moore?
So first, the high ability handbook. This is a document that we have available on our website for families, staff, and students to review, that discusses the different levels that we have in our high ability program that's in place. I work closely with Mr. Hawk on this. He is the administrator who oversees high ability. So we have worked together to update it. Next, for our school improvement plans, each school improvement plan was developed or updated by principals who took the lead on that, collaborating with other staff within their buildings. This is something I've met with each of them about, and this plan asking for your approval for each of our school buildings. And DCES does include Camden as well. And then for the classified handbook, this handbook, I worked closely with Michelle on to review, and is updated to reflect this school year.
Any questions or comments? All right. All in favor of 9Y, the high ability handbook, 9Z, strategic and continuous improvement plans for DCES, DCMS, and DCHS, as well as 9AA, the classified handbook for October 2025, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, 9BB, I'd like to get a motion to discuss the first reading of Neola policies, and we have several here. Dr. Moore will go through these once we get a motion. This is the first reading. This is just to hear about them.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Moore?
Just want to make sure that the public is aware that each policy that I'm going through, the board has access to all of the revisions that are proposed. We do work with Neola, a company, to assist us with updating our policies. So I will be giving a summary of each one as you review the changes that are being asked for your approval. So policy 5540.01, investigations by DCS, clarify staff responsibilities when DCS initiates an investigation on school grounds. It ensures full cooperation while protecting student rights. Policy 5540.02, schools and governmental agencies, establishes procedures for communication and coordination between the district and outside government agencies. Policy 7430, safety, updates workplace and student safety procedures to align with current OSHA and state safety guidelines. Policy 8405, environmental health and safety, expands expectations for air quality and vehicle idling to promote a healthy environment. Policy 8451, parasitic infestation. This is with head lice. It just gives me language to reflect the current health guidance and reduce student exclusion time. Policy 8400, school safety. This is a technical revision, clarifies documentation and reporting requirements under Indiana school safety law. Those were all related to student welfare and safety. Any questions on those? Again, I know you've had them for a while and you've had a chance to review them. So personnel, volunteers, and background checks. I tried to group them together by topic. So first is policy 8120, volunteers. It's revised, clarifies screening, supervision, and orientation procedures for volunteers. Policy 8121, personal background check, requirements for contractors who potentially could work with students. Any questions about personnel, volunteers, background checks policies? Next is student conduct, discipline, and privacy, policy 5517, anti-harassment, and policy 551701, bullying, aligns definitions and reporting with current Indiana code. Policy 5600, 5611, discipline and due process, streamlines the policies for suspension, expulsion, and due process protections, including those for students with disabilities. Policy 5771, search and seizure, updates procedures to reflect recent legal standards. Policy 8330, student records, aligns data privacy and parental rights with FERPA and state record keeping standards. Policy 2416, student privacy and parental access, expands requirements for parental review of instructional materials. And policy 2461, recording of IEP case conferences, clarifies procedures for audio video recording during special education meetings. Any questions about student conduct, discipline, or privacy policies? Curriculum and instruction, policy 2221, mandatory curriculum, just updates required state courses and content areas. Policy 2410, audio video recordings of meetings, rules for recording educational or board meetings. Policy 2414, reproductive health and family planning, aligns health instruction with new parental consent and opt-out requirements. Policy 2623, student assessment, reflects changes in state testing and local assessment options. Policy 5200, attendance, updates attendance definitions to comply with the July 2025 rule changes. Policy 5223, release time for religious instruction, clarifies documentation and supervision of release time programs. Any questions about curriculum and instruction policies? Finance and operations, policy 6111, internal controls, reinforces our procedures for financial accountability and fraud prevention. Policy 6116, time and effort reporting, updates documentation for federally funded positions. Policy 6151, bad checks and uncollectible debt. It clarifies how uncollectible accounts are written off. Policy 7300 and policy 7310, property disposition, defines procedures for selling or disposing of real and surplus property. Policy 7455, accounting system for capital assets, aligns with current accounting standards. Policy 6230, budget hearing, ensures compliance with state budget presentation requirements. Any questions about policies for finance and operations? Facilities, food service, and transportation, policy 8500, food service program, and policy 8510, wellness. Updates nutritional standards and wellness goals. Policy 8540, vending machines. This is rescinded, eliminated due to overlap with food service and wellness policies. Policy 8640, transportation for field trips, replaced by updated administrative guidelines. That was rescinded. Any questions about facilities, food service, and transportation? Visitors and community relations, policy 9150, school visitors, clarifies visitor identification, check-in, and supervision procedures. Policy 9160, public attendance at school events, updates expectations for conduct at school events. Any questions about visitors and community relations? Employment and compensation, policy 3220.02, supplemental payments for teachers, reflects updates related to differentiated pay and new state guidance on stipends. And some other, I would call them miscellaneous policies, 7440.01, electronic monitoring and recording, expands the parameters for security cameras and electronic monitoring to ensure transparency and privacy compliance, and policy 5540.01 and policy 5540.02 establishes two entirely new policies focused on interagency cooperation and DCS investigations. Any questions on those policies? And that would be all the policies. Thank you.
Come back for the second read.
Okay, so once again, no vote on BB. Just basically the first reading of these updated Neola policies. Yes.
No, okay.
Basically, these are either just revised, some of them rescinded. So standard protocol that we go through. Did you have anything else on this?
Sorry.
Well, that is true.
So there's it's a new state. We approved in our last set of policies that we could do a first reading and approval of Neola policies with technical corrections. So I would ask that you would approve policy 6230, policy 7310, policy 8400, and policy 5611, so I don't have to read them next month.
So we can
corrections.
make a second motion for that. I did not see CC there. So I'd like to get a motion to approve first reading and approval of the Neola policies with the technical corrections under CC, including policy 6230, 7310, 8400, and 5611 as we have presented already.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of 9CC as presented?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you for catching that. That one blended right in with the little line of everything there. So, all right. Okay, moving forward, Dr. Moore, we have a donation. Thank you.
Yes, and first just want to, acknowledge John Richter. He's a bus driver for 38 years and past, and, that just so sad for our community, but what a wonderful man. I didn't know him, but I heard many wonderful things about him. And as part of, his memorial, his family asked to have coats, donated to benefit children. And those coats were donated to Camden and, our elementary school. So just so wonderful. What a wonderful way, to give tribute to a man who gave 38 years, to us here at Delphi. So thank you.
Okay. Definite big thank you for that. All right. Future dates. We have a couple here. Fall break right around the corner. Starts this weekend, October 20th through the 24th. So hopefully anybody that is leaving town, stays safe. Also November 10th, that is a regular board meeting here in the DCMS Abbey and Libby Memorial Library at 6:30 p.m. We do have two other dates that aren't on here. As several people know or may know, we've been working with negotiations with the teachers union to work on a contract. We do have two meetings coming up. Those are public meetings. On October 27th, one is to discuss the tentative agreement, and November 3rd would be accepting the ratification of that. So those are two public dates that aren't on this agenda, but they are out there. So you should see those advertised. Okay. Board comments. I'll start with Stephanie.
All right.
That's why Kirk moved, you know that, right?
Yeah, I like to go first. All the unique ideas start with me. Well, I just would say, good luck to the athletic teams going into sectionals, I think in probably 2 weeks. I know those brackets came out for a lot of the teams. So good luck to them. Safe travels for fall break for those heading out of town. I still think my favorite part that the ag group comes and tells us about their success. So congratulations again. It's really been, I know I've learned a lot, I will say, about what you all do. And I think it's inspiring. I love that we've been able to focus on it from a social media perspective. I think it showcases something different. I know I have a child in my own home who thinks she is going to get into ag judging now and thinks she should add that to her schedule. So I just think it's really great. And I appreciate you guys coming back to meetings and sticking it out this time that we could tell you again how proud we are. So I think that's great. And then also, I guess the end in the donations, what a great tribute. I think it's special that somebody stuck around here for 38 years. I think we see more and more of that here. And I'm excited that we can call it out for these meetings and see how people are giving back. So thank you. And thank you, Ms. Miller, for bringing your class in too. I think those are good to hear about. They're the highlights of the meeting for me.
Mr. Smith.
I also want to congratulate the FFA and really, you guys made Delphi proud. Thank you for your hard work, the dedication that went into that. It's obvious you guys spent hours and hours preparing and getting ready for that event. And for the coaches and the folks that stepped in and really helped prepare them along the way, it's big, but it's really neat to see Delphi again on that stage. So thank you for your dedication. I also want to recognize John Richter and his family. John was a tremendous guy. So it doesn't surprise me really that he did something for the schools as part of his memorial, but that's really a neat thing and we appreciate them. 9 weeks down, so far so good. It's been a great school year thus far. Hate to say that out loud, but really some really great stuff going on. It's really encouraging from the community perspective to hear the good things going on in the school corporation. And again, as much as it pains me to suggest that we've had nothing but compliments, I have had nothing but compliments this year. And that's unique, but it's a testimony to really the dedication of our staff, our teachers, our administrators, the support people, our new superintendent, and so I just want to say thank you for that and congratulations on really getting off to a great start. And I'm really excited to see where the rest of the school year takes us.
All right, Mr. Schwarzkopf.
Again, I gotta mention about John and his legacy and what he did, and Stephanie, you're right. With the coats and stuff, that everything's passed, and what they just continue to give, right? And so we thank the Ritter family for their years of service and their loss. The other donations that we've gotten to in the past and stuff, I know we've got support for the livestock team. I just again want to thank those people on that. Probably the most thing I want to say about the livestock judging team. Thank you. I'll take these anytime. I just won't eat them in front of you. The staff, of the month, the students of the month. It is always great to see that. Thank you for pushing that on through or admin on doing it. It is great to be able to recognize those staff, whether a teacher, whether a custodian, they all need to be recognized. I was told the bus drivers, you're our first class and our last class of the day. And so they do it that way. Mrs. Miller, thank you again for the class and everything and what they do and how they're doing that. I think that's one thing to be able to build pride internally going outward, and are just things that we need. And Ms. Dr. Moore, thank you very much for taking a shot at us, and that to be able to, like Gil said, there's always going to be a little bus chat. There's no doubt about that. But just the positivity of everything, the complaints from other school corporations, I love it. And so, I don't care, it's live, but I'll take it. He can come back and say something. But it is, though, that we are doing great things, for all students. That's the thing, for all students. So I'm going to leave it with that. Mike, I know you got a few things.
Yeah, right. I want to get back to the FFA winning the national, going to the national. If there was a sports team that's on par of winning the state championship, they'd have a sign for you, as you come in and out of Delphi. It's that big of a deal. So I think you're worthy of a sign or something like that, or at least a bulletin board for a while. I'd like to congratulate again all the students and staff that were recognized tonight. Students of the month, and see our faculty recognized it. I think they aren't recognized enough sometimes for all the work they do. Hidden underneath our consent items was a change or revised improvement per job description for our office help across the way. And you're just much appreciated. Everything you do across the way over there, I think not everyone knows. They know what goes on over here at the schools a lot. They just don't know what you do over there in the administrative office. So good job, ladies. It's well deserved. Joe, I appreciate the technology report tonight. I know you made it look easy, but you had some time invested in that. That's what you do good. So we're glad to have you. Thank you very much. So I was happy to see our ADM numbers stay steady. That's really good for us. I hope we can improve on that. Thanks, Dr. Moore, for all the summary on the Neola reports, so we don't have to get down into the minutia. That's really enjoyable reading. And I hope everyone has an enjoyable fall break.
All right, Mr. Strasser.
All right. As usual, I will echo my board members' comments, but also, acknowledge the FFA judging team and all the people that assisted with it as well. So it shines a bright light on our school. I appreciate that. I'd also like to acknowledge that we spent a lot of money tonight. Okay. But we did it in a way that we're improving a lot of our facilities, and some of it's much needed. So I appreciate, Dr. Moore, you and your staff and all that's going on to do those improvements. That's it for me.
All right. Kenzie Brown, you do get an option here to give your comments tonight. So this is your chance.
Thank you for having me. It was a really cool experience. I've never been to one of these, so it's really interesting to see, I think, actually what goes on really behind the scenes and what you guys talk about. And yeah, I'll probably come to another one. 10 out of 10. Good job, you guys.
Do you feel you got thrown under the bus on Neola policy night?
So I will say that I did not exactly catch all of that. I figured that some of that was a little out of my depth, so not really above my pay grade. So, but you sounded very confident, and I appreciate that. You were very well spoken. So.
Okay. All right. I can round out the comments here. One other thing we did kind of, I don't want to say hid under consent items, but we have 2 retirements, Brian and Amy Tonsoni. Brian, 20 years, Amy, 28 in English and 7 in the library. So those are, and as long as they've been around, I didn't have them. So I kind of feel like I missed out for somebody that's, been here that long. So personally don't know a lot about them, but I did meet Amy a couple years ago at one of the, like a hiring event. And she was great to work with. So big thank you to those type of people that when they do leave, they left a lasting impression here. Also, just congratulations to all those kids, teachers, everyone that is getting recognized. Even the ones we didn't maybe talk about tonight, whether it was cross country runner that won a race or things like that. Those we hear about those all the time, and it doesn't get old recognizing them. So we need to at least know that there's kids out there that aren't being talked about, but they are. So just know that. Obviously, once again, fall break, pretty excited about that. I hope everybody's got some kind of plans. And then I just need one more motion, and that is for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned.
Fun experience. Yeah.